Anyone else find it interesting how Japan is almost the exact opposite regarding censorship than America or any other place? Over here in the US and places like this, they will censor the shit out of anything that is, you know, even remotely pornographic, so to speak. Like, you know, somebody is in a bikini or some shit. Yeah, can you put some white mist over it? But Godzilla can rip someone's head off on a cartoon show and it's totally okay. I mean, they're even censored to a certain degree with that as well, but for the most part, they're more so heavily, you know, invested in, like, we need to get rid of anything that is nudity or any of that type of sexual stuff, but violence is cool, bro. But in Japan, it's almost the exact opposite. It's like, yo, you show tits for days, you know, have fan service, all that good stuff, but you know, can't have those gory scenes, you know, you need to cut down on that. I'm definitely referring to some of the events in this week's episode of One Piece, how, you know, you have a lot of that Rebecca busty as ever, and I don't mind it. I ain't gonna lie, I don't mind it, whatever. But then they censored on the cutting of the tongue scene, which at the end of the day, I mean, do you really want to see someone's tongue get cut off? They skimmed over it. I don't even think it happened, to be honest. I think he just beat the shit out of the dude. And it's kind of like, in Japan, you know, have that scene where it looks like Rebecca's about to be raped or whatever, but, you know, they cut down on the violence. So, I don't know, I guess it's just, you know, different strokes for different folks. Now, quite a bit of things happened with this week's episode of One Piece, which is good to say, because with One Piece, you know, with that pacing, I mean, they stretched out some scenes, but at the end of the day, quite a bit happened. Again, for starters, the beginning of the episode, finally we get the revelation of what Bartholomew is all about. We finally see what he's up to, why he's been wanting to get to Mugiwara, so to speak, and basically he's a fanboy. Put it simply, he is a fanboy up the ass. He's just been following them for years, and it's interesting how a lot of these episodes, a lot of the times, and if you look back, a very vital and important arc to the story is definitely Lodge Town. Like, they always go back to that. You always see when Luffy was getting ready to be beheaded by Buggy or whatever, locked in there, and then that strike of lightning comes out, and that's one of the biggest moments that made him a fan, and then he followed it work, you know, so on and so forth. But definitely you can see that that arc is a very pivotal one, and it makes me want to go back and rewatch it. And since I have a baby nephew that is kind of like going through the whole entire series, he's like only 4 or 5, but I got him addicted to that One Piece. Like, he won't watch anything else, and I love to tell this story because I can't believe I actually got someone that addicted to One Piece that he's watching like hundreds of episodes. And this is a good time. Maybe I could say, hey, you know, let's watch these set of episodes again. That way I can be, you know, awesome uncle, and at the same time we can revisit this material, so to speak. So definitely very interesting to see that that arc is very pivotal. And I mean, at the end of the day, it always makes you look at Dragon, makes you question, you know, regarding how, what is his powers? Was he responsible that day for the lightning bolt that ultimately saved Luffy? I mean, he saved them basically from Smoker, so it really makes you question a lot of different things. And again, that arc, little by little, it always just looks more important that as it goes on. Like, that was a defining moment for things for later on in the story. And with this week's episode, one of the things I will say as well is that the animation wasn't really all that good. Like, the movement and stuff like that, it was kind of just sloppy, and just it didn't really gel well regarding the movement. But the art was pretty awesome, especially like that last scene with Rebecca, just beautifully done. The art looked great, but the animation wasn't all that, and there's definitely a difference. I like to, you know, always point out that the animation is the movement, the art is the actual, just, you know, how it looks, the drawing, the presentation. So the art was looking good, animation was Felt kind of bad for Luffy. I mean, you have all these weirdos. You got Cavendish running after him, then you got Don Chin Zhao, and he don't understand what the fuck. Like, he's like, yo, dog, I beat you already. What are you still coming after me for? And even though Don Chin Zhao's like, you know, the grudge is over, which again, progression right there, that it finally shows that after everything is hatred, him becoming a conehead again, he's thanking Luffy for it, which if anything, I would have been thanking Garp for making me not a conehead, but, you know, his treasure is important, I guess. So, you know, you have that progression there, but it's just like you have all these wacky people. You have Cavendish after him, then you have Bartholomew fanboying up to the side, like, oh my god, and he doesn't realize that as well, because it probably would freak him out even more. And then you have Don Chin Zhao running after him, and then you have this girl tricking him. It's like, Dressrosa's full with a bunch of fucking nut jobs and crazies. And oh my gosh, I had my mind made up on the score, but as I go along with this review, like, so much stuff really happened in this episode, because then you see Burgess there chilling off in the cut, and he's talking to Blackbeard on this Dendemushi, which, you know, the Dendemushi represent what people look like now, and I'd imagine Blackbeard's, you know, facial hair is a little bit different, a little bit longer, probably has it like that, just like the Dendemushi, so you can definitely see that there's a little bit of gonna be a change the next time we do see Blackbeard. Just to hear that nasty motherfucker is like, you know, gotta love that shit, and to see that he's like, yeah, I want that flame fruit. Your brother turned me down, but I'm gonna have that power one way or another. It's like so exciting. And also, prior to Luffy showing up, it really makes you wonder as well. So many mysteries. Is Aokiji working with the Blackbeard pirates? Well, Aokiji, the thing is, if he is indeed working with them, I'd imagine it's basically for his own justice, to take them down at some given point, or to learn the ins and outs of what's going on regarding the crime in the pirate world and the One Piece world, because Aokiji, he's never seemed like a bad guy, especially to go from being a marine, you know, being an admiral, to working under Blackbeard. No, if he is indeed working with them, it's mainly just for his own sense of justice again, and he's going to do something in his own way, because other than that, like, I agree with Burgess, I wouldn't trust him. Shilu is a whole different case, because he tried to reference, well, you know, that'd be like saying the same thing about Shilu. Shilu is a fucked up, crazy nut job. Aokiji ain't. So, very interesting stuff right there. It's like, holy fuck, is Aokiji, like, gonna be with the Blackbeard Pirates for a while? It's like, so many questions. Like, oh, this episode, it definitely brought the content. Like, the flaws, I would say, with the episode is definitely the animation wasn't, again, the art looked good, animation, also censoring on certain aspects, like the tongue part. It's like, you can see that they definitely are not as violent as they used to be with the anime. It's like, you go from Marine forward, and even then, there was some censoring to this, and it's like, just cut the tongue. I'm sorry, Luffy, like, yo, bro, you should have just enjoyed yourself, bro. I mean, like, that food was good, but maybe you could have, like, ate the food and enjoy yourself. And it makes me wonder, regarding Rebecca, has this happened to her before? Because she's just laying there, and I was, like, cringing at the same time, because it looks like she's been raped before or something. She's like, okay, just take me. It's like, fan service to the max, making a scene that in the manga it just didn't seem like that. It didn't seem like she was ready to get raped or whatever. Well, at least I didn't feel that way, but in the anime it totally, between them making her bust size over 9,000, and then just having that scene the way it was like, my gosh, Rebecca's been through some shit being a gladiator. Another progression is we're really starting to see even more of the dark side of Dressrosa. Luffy for himself now has seen it firsthand. All these people jailed, bandaged up, and they're not actually bad people. They were trying to help Rebecca, and he understands that and acknowledges that. So a lot of good progression, a lot of things went on. I was honestly coming into this review 7.5, I was going to say, out of 10, but talking about it, I think it deserves the 8. I think the animation was definitely lackluster, and the censoring of the violence was a little bit annoying, but overall we did get a lot of good things, and the art looked good, so it makes up slightly for the animation, not quite, but ultimately, yeah, I think it deserves the 8. I'm going to give it the 8 out of 10. It was a very good episode, and I was just entertained. Another thing got added in there is like, I was entertained from start to finish. I didn't feel like, oh, get the Tontadas out of here, because there were no Tontadas. So yeah, I'm giving it the 8. It was like a lot of fucking really good shit that's foreshadowing for the future, showing a little bit more spotlight and relevance to past arcs. Like, even getting that little flashback scene, it just made it more enjoyable as well. Seeing Luffy and Blackbeard when they were about to square off in the past, it was like a lot of good stuff with this episode. And overall, it's like, yeah, Dressrosa little by little. The anime, I will say right now, I prefer the Dressrosa arc in the anime over Punk Hazard easily, and even in the manga, but regarding anime, I would definitely say, right now, as far as the anime goes, since the time skip, Dressrosa so far is the best arc, because it's like episodes like this where a lot of things are happening. It's like the pacing is still what it is, but you're getting good shit. Let me know what you think regarding, first of all, the censorship. Do you think that Japan got it right? Do you think the US got it right? Or do you think they're both being knobs and they should just stop with all this heavy censorship? And also, what do you think regarding this whole thing with Aokiji? Do you think he's indeed working with the Blackbeard Pirates? And if so, do you think it's on some Shilu type of level, or is on some his own self-justice? He's gonna find the ins and outs of crime and stop these people. Just your overall thoughts of the episode. Again, I was like 7.5, but after talking about it, it gets the 8. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, you can do so as well. That'd be awesome. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.